And then you can't hear it. Yeah, it got really loud in here at one point. But now there's so few of us. Okay. So just like we did on Monday, we're gonna read a book. And this is a new book, and it's called Stormwatch, and it's by Mary Louise Bourget. Okay, well, we don't need that one because Delvon's not here. Okay, so while we're reading, we might come across some new words that we haven't seen before. So when you're coming across a new word, what's one thing you can do to try and figure it out?
Read it?
Read it? Yep, we can reread it, see if we can sound it out while we're reading. Another thing we can do.
This is page number 1, which is actually 2.
Yeah. So we can look at the pictures to help us figure out what the word means, right? So if there's pictures on the page, we can look at those and figure out what they mean. And then we can also reread the whole sentence to see what that tells us. Gives us any clues. So while we read and we come across some new words, let's do all those things. So like you said, we're going to reread the word. Then we're going to look at the pictures to see if that helps us. And then we're going to read the whole sentence and see if that helps us.
Bacon bones.
Okay. So, is that right? So that's a map of a hurricane. It says Hurricane Andrew. And they do different colors to show you like how fast it's going, how fast the wind is going, or how intense the storm is. So it doesn't actually look red like when it's happening, but on the map they show it as red to show how intense and like how big of a storm. Okay, so like you did on Monday, you're gonna read this to yourself. Softly out loud, and then I might stop you and so we can talk about some things, okay? So this is Stormwatch, and you can get started.
Okay. Do you have any scrap paper? I just want to get some pen pencil. That's whatever works. This is a cute pencil box. Wow. Alright. So, where are we at? Let me read the top so I know exactly what's in it. How many unit squares cover it? You can use standard units for length. How one. So you're saying that one's 4 new squares, one's square. Okay.
Okay, let's talk about this page real quick. Okay, so can you tell me what that word is? Can you read that word out loud to me?
Okay. Well, it's the same idea.
Yep, that was a really good pronunciation. Good sounding out. Okay, so we're gonna sound out forecaster.
I'm left-handed.
So that says forecaster. What do you think a forecaster is?
You know that length
So we talked about, we reread the word. Can we look at the picture? Do you think
width
this might be somewhere in here can tell us what forecaster is?
equals
What?
area.
Flood, maybe. Oh, that says Floyd. Yep, that's the name.
How
So
long?
let's reread the sentence, see if that helps. The wind will be strong today, says the weather forecaster.
Okay.
So if it's speaking, if the forecaster is speaking, what do you think in this picture? A person, yeah. So a forecaster is a person that tells everyone the weather. So when you watch TV and you want to know what the weather is, the person telling you is a forecaster.
Okay.
Okay, and then over here, this word, did you figure out what this word meant?
6 to get our area.
Yeah, radar. What do you think a radar is?
Like something.
No, it's okay. We just repeatedly ask, right?
Like a radio?
Yeah, so a radar uses a radio signal to figure out what the weather is. So it's a map. So a radar is a type of map. And this picture, it shows us this is a picture of a radar. Okay, so we can keep on reading. So we know that this is a radar and that's a forecaster. You ready? Okay, we can flip the page then. Keep on reading. Are there any words on those 2 pages that you didn't know? Nope.
That looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's one dot and no dot. Oh, I don't want dots. Okay. So write your answer. Now your answer, I want to point out, has to be, that you can use yes, cube, or square, instead of writing out square.
Okay, let's stop on this page real quick.
Cube, right?
Okay, so there might be a new word in here. Can you tell me what this word is?
So you won't answer right.
Hurricanes? Yeah, what do you think of hurricanes?
Right in the middle of it.
It's kind of like a tornado. Do you think, in this picture, which do you think is a
How
hurricane?
many?
Yeah, the really big white storm. So a tornado is a lot smaller than a hurricane. Because this right here, that's Florida. So a tornado would be like this big on the map. But this is the whole state of Florida, and the hurricane's almost as big as it. So hurricanes are huge. Okay, and they move really fast. See, in here it says it may cover nearly hundreds of miles. So if we put this hurricane over Indiana, it could cover the whole state. Okay?
Is it feet?
Yep, so you're right. Hurricanes are really, really big storms.
That's cube.
Why do I need that?
So we'll use it later.
Good. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Where is your I'm making it worse. I'm making it worse. Okay, let's move over to the next problem. We've got one more over there. Okay? So again, area is length times width. Length is how long something is, width is how wide something is. Okay? So what is our length? How long is it?
You finished? Okay. So can you tell me what this word says?
Warnings?
Warnings? Mm-hmm. What do you think warnings mean?
It's like a warning is like I'm gonna give you a warning.
So we know it's
Like
9 long. What is it?
tornadoes coming.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like an announcement that something might happen. So like they warn you about tornadoes and hurricanes.
Every day, Miss Ferguson does an announcement that we need to look up to fire drill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when a fire does happen, there will be a warning to know that you need to go get out of the building or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good example. Okay, we have one more page left. Ooh, that's a weird noise.
It sounds like a lightsaber.
It did.
Now, hold on.
Okay, wait.
5,
Okay, so let's talk about some of the things we read. Can you?
25,
We don't want to break anything. Okay, so we talked. What 2 kind of storms did we talk about in this book?
A tornado?
Was it a tornado,
No, a hurricane.
a hurricane, and then at the beginning, what kind of weather did we talk about? Here, go to page 6. That might help.
Lightning.
Lightning, and what comes with lightning?
this time, you gotta look at your label.
A thunderstorm. Mm-hmm.
Prepare
So we talked about thunderstorms.
Makes it look like dollars gets
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have. I think we have a thunderstorm shown on the cover because there's a big bolt of lightning. So we talked about thunderstorms and hurricanes. So, have you ever seen a thunderstorm? Have you been in a thunderstorm? I think there might have been one last night actually. It got really windy and rainy. So thunderstorms happen in Indiana all the time, right?
Wait, it was raining?
Yeah, it definitely rained last night. My power went out.
Maybe.
Maybe it got really bad where I was, but not where you were. But yeah, our power went out a couple of times. So we had a thunderstorm last
It's
night
too
where I
hard
was.
when I hear it there.
It's very strange. I think it's because it's hollow. If you know what hollow means. There's nothing inside, so it makes a weird noise when you hit it.
Like a lightsaber.
Okay, so we know what thunderstorms are. We've seen thunderstorms. Do you think there's ever been a hurricane in Indiana? No. Yeah. Where do you think hurricanes happen? the most? You know, so on that picture of that hurricane, do you remember what state I said that was?
So we're gonna do length times width again.
You forgot? So if you look at the map of the United States over there, in the bottom right,
Length is how
that green one
long?
at the bottom, that one's
Is
Florida.
this our length? Or is this our length?
So hurricanes happen a lot in Florida and on the coast. So the coast is the part of land that's near the sea.
I can't see.
So since Indiana is in the middle of a bunch of land, there's no ocean for the hurricanes to pick up speed with. Because the hurricane needs a lot of water and wind to be able to keep going. So in Indiana, we don't really have to worry about hurricanes, which is nice. But if we lived in Florida or Georgia or Louisiana or Texas, we might have to worry about hurricanes a lot more than we do here.
Wow. There's so many magnets.
Okay, let's flip back to the book.
I don't know.
And we're going to talk about some of the words that we talked about. Okay, we're going to build the words using these cards. Okay, so let me.
No, I'm gonna add 12 6 times.
Yeah.
Hurricane.
Cane, yep, and then we have this word.
Over and over again, 6 times. So what's 2 plus 2?
So we read hurricane and forecaster, and let's split those up into some chunks. Okay.
12 and I carry over. What's 1 plus 1?
Okay, so we mix them all up. We gotta rebuild the words. Can you rebuild the words?
My area is 72. 72 is what? Look at your.
This one's down. This one.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you think I split them up?
We're gonna do length.
So let's read
Which
forecaster.
one's long? Sounds like a square to me, it's like they were saying.
Do you know how they're split up? How they're chunked? By what? Yeah, I cut them. So I split them up by their syllables. So when we go to pronounce a new word and we don't know, we can chunk it. So you know, for, cast, and
If I don't know.
and if we don't know how to say it, we put them all together. So if we go for, cast, and the way to send it out, and we put them all together,
How
we
many
get
times?
forecaster.
Yes.
And same with her, it, and cane. Yep, so when we go and find a new word, so let's say in here, another long word is thunderstorm. Let's split that one up, okay? We have thunderstorm,
What's this 7 plus 7?
thunderstorm, and then we put all together. So we split it up to make it easier to say, and we put it all together. So we split this up, her,
This 7 plus 7
and
is
cane,
14.
and then we put it all together, we got.
Plus 7 is 14. Well, this 7 plus 7.
So now,
Yes, ma'am. And this one.
we're going to talk about the difference between thunderstorms and hurricanes.
Okay. 4 plus 4 plus 4.
And I'm going to grab,
The one's bigger, one's smaller.
here, hold that thought in your head while I get my pencil out, so I can write that down.
12.
Oop.
14. Yes,
And
ma'am.
I need something to write on.
19.
Sorry, guys.
0 plus 1.
Should have grabbed that earlier. Okay. So you said one's bigger, one's smaller. So are thunderstorms bigger or hurricanes?
Hurricanes are bigger.
Yeah, hurricanes are really big.
Yes, ma'am. Read it all over.
I don't know what else is bigger.
Okay. We're gonna do length times
Okay.
width again.
So thunderstorms, they can be small or big. Because some thunderstorms can be really big.
Bigger than hurricanes?
Not bigger than hurricanes, but pretty big. Okay, what's another thing? What kind of things happen during a thunderstorm?
There's lightning.
It's lightning, yeah.
Now, how wide are they?
Now I'm gonna double check how to spell lightning so that we spell it right. 'Cause that's one of those words I have trouble spelling. Lightning. What's one thing that happens during a hurricane? We can flip through the book to figure out some stuff too. We can go back.
So 8 long times 8 wide is our area. Do I know what 8 roots of 8 is? If I don't know, what's going on to find out?
So what's destroying all these houses?
What can I do to figure it out?
Let's read this first sentence.
A hurricane brings very strong winds and multiple winds may take off housetops and blow down
8 plus 8 is?
and can do a lot of harm.
Okay, so what's one thing that happens with a hurricane?
Okay. And this 8 plus 8 is what?
In that first sentence, what do hurricanes bring?
What's this 8 plus 8?
Strong winds
Mm-hmm.
and rain.
What's 6 plus 6?
Okay, so now you just said something that happens in a hurricane. You said it rains during a hurricane. Does it also rain during a thunderstorm?
Yeah. 12 plus
Yeah, so they both rain. So they got their differences. Like during thunderstorm, there's a lot of lightning and thunder. We can add thunder too. Yeah. They can be either smaller. Yeah, they can be big, but they're normally pretty small. Okay, and then hurricanes are really big. And they have really strong winds, and then they also have rain. Yeah, so they have something in common. So I'll put a star next to that, so we remember that they have those two things in common.
Good job. Okay, we're ready to go to the bottom half of our work.
Okay, let me grab you a piece of paper. Okay, and so now we need our pencil. That's what it is. And I'm going to give you this book so that you can have a hard surface to write on. And you,
Okay. Let's try it again.
and I can help too. We're going to write a couple of sentences about thunderstorms and hurricanes.
This or this?
Okay, so I know we didn't want to write on Monday. So can we try and write today? Cool.
6.
We do our best to do it, okay?
Okay. How wide is it?
Okay, so we can use the book, and we can use our chart that we just filled out. We already have some ideas about thunderstorms and hurricanes, and we're going to write a couple sentences about them, okay?
To write. Explain how you know which units to use.
Okay,
So what do you write?
so let's get started.
What's your label? How do you know that? Okay, so 24
Okay, so
square inches.
So we're writing about thunderstorms and we're writing about hurricanes, and do we want to write, we talked about the differences, so we can talk about the differences between the two.
And you know because.
Okay, so we have these ideas, but we just gotta put them into full sentences, okay? So we did the hard work already, we just gotta put them into sentences. Okay, so can you, here, instead of, we won't write right now, but can we talk about it? These are words. Okay, so can you tell me with your words
Hey,
of
what is the
something
area
about
of
hurricanes?
square
One of the things we
all
talked
the
about?
photos? So we already know. We already know that
Diego?
Tom,
Can you tell me? You don't have to write it. Can you tell me
right?
something about hurricanes?
What is Sue?
They have rain.
So hurricanes have rain. Do thunderstorms have rain too? So we can say hurricanes and thunderstorms have. Finish the sentence. Have rain. Okay.
Should be
Can we write that as our first sentence?
5.
We did the hard work of thinking of it. We just gotta write it down. And we have all the words written down here too, so we
I
know how
want
to
to
spell
go
everything.
7 roots of 5. I can count by 5. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So Sue is 35. How many is Allie? Excellent. So I know that Tom was 24, Sue was Allie, or Sue was 35, Allie
You can grab your clipboard from your desk real quick if you want to write on it.
How can I figure out the total of all the photos? Four plus four is eight. 8 plus 5 is? Okay. And don't forget to carry over. Gotta count this. What's 2 plus 3? No, that's not my question. What was 2 plus 3? 2 plus 3. 5 plus 2. 7 plus 1.
So our sentence we came up with were hurricanes and thunderstorms. Both have rain.
83 what?
Okay, so we just need to say both have rain.
Total square inches. And that's how many photos? Is the area in square inches? 83, what's our label? Yeah. There you go. So I counted up Sue's, I counted Allie's, and then I added them all together. What's next on our sheet?
Okay, so we start with a capital. What do we need to do at the end of our sentence?
Is the area of this desk more likely to be square feet or 8 inches?
Yep, a period. Okay, so we have something about both thunderstorms and hurricanes. Okay, so let's think about something for just thunderstorms. What was something we talked about that thunderstorms, that thunderstorms have? Or what happens during a thunderstorm?
Feet. I'm sorry, don't say feet. Feet is a bigger measurement.
It's on the cover of our book. Lightning? Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen lightning in person? Mm-hmm. Do you think lightning happens really, really fast? Yeah, lightning, sometimes you miss lightning because it happens so fast. But people, like whoever took this picture, I don't know if it says it, whoever took this picture has a really good camera. Because lightning happens so fast that they need a really fancy camera to be able to take a picture like that. So,
Feet is a bigger, yeah.
is there another picture of lightning in here? Oh. Yep, so this one's got a lot of lightning. Okay, so on page 6, can you read it to me and tell me how thunderstorms are formed? So we can see in this picture that warm air rises and it meets the cold air in this cloud.
5 points, but they only total
And then
75
there's some electricity in the clouds, and when it gets too much lightning happens and it goes down and shoots into the ground.
Oops.
Pardon the interruption. Mrs. Phillips is back in her classroom, so students that go to Mrs. Phillips' resource room may now report to that room at your scheduled times. Students that visit Mrs. Phillips' resource room are able to start going to that room again at your scheduled time. Thank you.
I need to go in there.
There you go. Good job listening to these.
Let's go down to this.
Now we don't have a lot of people, period. Not a lot of people today.
No one goes to Mrs. Phillips.
Well, then we can all stay in here and we can work. Okie dokie. What were we talking about?
Right.
So we talked about earlier announcements and how they warn us about things. So I wouldn't say that was a warning, but they said, warning, Mrs. Phillips isn't in her classroom. Then we would have a warning, like we did at the end of the book. But yeah, warning is kind of like an announcement. Or that would be a good way to give a warning, is through the
Does
announcement.
each figure have an area of 24?
Okay, so we were just talking about lightning and thunderstorms.
How long is it?
So we have lightning and thunder appear under our thunderstorm column.
1,
So in our next sentence, we want to talk about a thunderstorm.
7, it's 8.
So what's something, can you tell me a sentence that we can say about a thunderstorm?
Okay? What's 8 groups of 3 or 3 Group's of 8,
Okay, I've said a couple and I know you said one at least, so maybe we can remember what
No, I can.
either of us said. We can use that as a sentence.
Yes. So does shape A 24? Okay. Now look at shape B. How long is it?
So lightning happens during what? Thunderstorms? So could that be our next sentence? Do you need help? Here, I can help with the spelling of happens if you need it. But we got lightning right here and thunderstorm.
7? And how wide is it? 4? So is 7, what's 7 group? 28. Is that the same as 24? No. Yep. Okay, let's check out C. Okay, what do you got? How long is it? Thank you. How wide is it? So I use my long time in my body.
What's the next
Yes,
word?
ma'am. Is 24 the same as 24? Yeah. So what are you going to put for C? Yeah. Is there anything else on that page?
Can you tell me? Lightning, and then what was the next word?
You found it. You see that little arrow right there? Push that.
And you can just tell me and then I can help you. I can't help you unless you tell me. Do you need help coming up with the next word? So earlier we said lightning.
What kind of questions do you have?
I asked you what happens during a thunderstorm. You said lightning.
How long something is?
So kind of like while we do the restating the question, when we say lightning happens
At length.
during a thunderstorm.
Length.
So you need help spelling happens. So
Times.
I can help. Here's the back side of this. So kind of like what we did earlier with these, we can split it up. So we have, what letter do you think that starts with?
So that's a whole, that's one.
What makes that noise? An H, yep. And then you have ha. What do you think makes that ah noise? An A. And then we have. And this word there's two P's. And then we have eh. And then N. Kind of says its name there. And then we have hap ends. Yes, yep. Yeah, so the only tricky part of that word is there's two P's, but we figured out all the other ones. Yep. Nice job, Jada.
You gotta tell me how you figured that out. How'd you figure it out?
And then we talked about during was our next word. Do we need help with that one too? So we have during. See, it kind of sounds like a U, but it's going to be a U this time, so it could be tricky. But what do you think the next letter is? And then that ing sound. What letters make that ing sound? ING. Yep, and that ING is in a lot of words. Yep, so we have during. Okay, and then we said thunderstorm.
chicken wings, hot dog and bologna. Chicken wings, chicken wings. You guys know that. Okay, we're gonna get to a stopping point this time. We're back.
Can I tell Miss Ben?
That's how she says it, isn't it? Or she kind of adds it, yeah. Finish that one time. We're gonna go to the bathroom, okay?
I think we're gonna go to the bathroom here real quick, but I'll write the last sentence if you tell me what's right. How does that sound? Okay, so let's say something about hurricanes.
They can break buildings.
So what about a hurricane breaks the buildings?
It has strong winds.
Yep. Can you put that into a full sentence?
A hurricane has strong winds. It can break houses.
So hurricanes have strong winds that can, and then what'd you say? Hurricanes have strong winds that can what?
Break houses.
Yeah, break houses.
Angel. Do you guys usually go to the bathroom with them, or do you guys continue working?
They continue walking and then they talk.
We usually go to the bathroom with them. We're almost finished.
Yeah, we're almost done too.
I was talking to another adult, and that was kind of rude. Gracie, can you show me the right way to sit, please?
Okay.
Pull your mask up over your nose.
So when we go to write
Here we go.
other things, maybe now when I'm not here or when I am here, you came up with a really good sentence, okay? So what you said you can write down too. Okay? So you're really good at coming up with sentences. We just gotta write them down. Okay? But you did a good job, and I think we learned a lot about thunderstorms and hurricanes today. Okay, so when we were reading, we worked on coming across new words and figuring out what they meant by rereading the sentence. And you said by rereading the word too, and looking at the picture. I think the picture helped a lot. Okay, so when we're reading other things, we can do all three of those things. So if we're reading our Journeys book and we don't know what it is, we can reread it. We can reread the whole sentence, figure it out, and we can look at a picture if there is one. Okay? Sounds good. Okay, we can pack up our stuff and we can go join the rest of the class in the bathroom. Okay, we did a good job today. And we got some sentences down, which is good. Are you liking your new shoes still?